that isn't meant for you. All right, Leo, let's get into your reading. The second I touched these cards, something cold and sharp moved through my fingertips today. A heavy vibration sits on this reading tonight, and it carries the sound of a phone ringing. I keep sensing a conversation approaching fast, one that rewrites everything you thought was already settled. This person held words behind their teeth for weeks, and the pressure finally cracked wide open. A call arrives from a number you cannot trace, hidden carefully like the truth it carries. I do not think you will enjoy what gets spoken because it dismantles something you fully trusted. Whatever this person saved for that call, they wrapped it in secrecy for a very specific reason. The weight of their unspoken words presses into my palms, and it feels heavier than anything recent. It lands like a rehearsed confession, practiced 100 times before the dial was ever pressed. The cards on this table tremble, carrying the full weight of what this conversation unleashes on you. Let us go ahead and dive into this, because the cards confirm what the energy keeps screaming. The first card I have for you is the Tower, and it arrives with devastating force today. The Tower says a foundation shatters during this call, something you built your emotional safety upon completely. Whatever you believed was solid and permanent, this card confirms it was crumbling beneath the surface already. The cracks were invisible to everyone watching, but the Tower always knew exactly where the weakness lived inside. The Tower does not crash through walls without purpose. It removes what was never built on truth. This card confirms the call carries a revelation, strong enough to restructure how you see everything now. A buried truth finally gets forced into the open air, and the Tower says it happens very abruptly. The Tower says the ground beneath your feet was never as stable as it appeared to you. The next card coming through is the Seven of Swords, and concealment sits at the core here. This person kept something critical from your awareness, and the Seven of Swords says it was intentional. The hiding was not careless or accidental. It was calculated to protect their own position from exposure. That secret now demands to breathe in the open, and the private call delivers it to your ears. The Seven of Swords says the mask finally slipped, and what hides beneath shocks even this person. The Seven of Swords confirms this person moved carefully behind your back, blocking the full picture deliberately. Then we have the Moon, and thick emotional fog wraps itself around this entire situation right now. Your gut whispered warnings for weeks, and this card says those restless instincts were completely accurate all along. The Moon confirms you sensed deception before evidence arrived. Your intuition caught the fracture underneath everything first. Nothing about this situation felt clean or safe, and the Moon validates that deep, uneasy feeling inside. Your dreams tried to warn you before your waking mind could process what the fog was hiding. Every quiet doubt that crossed your mind late at night, this card says it was rooted in truth. The moon wraps its arms around your confusion, confirming you were never paranoid, but simply awake early. The last card here is the Five of Cups, and grief quietly threads through every word spoken. Loss attaches itself to whatever gets revealed in that call, and mourning follows closely right behind it. This card holds a gentle reminder, though. 2 cups remain standing, even after 3 have already fallen. Pain arrives through this conversation for certain, yet it cannot steal every beautiful thing you built here. The cards confirm this moment wounds deeply, yet something unbreakable inside your spirit survives the full impact. You will feel the sting of those words, yet the Five of Cups says healing begins right after. Not everything crumbles when truth lands hard, and the cards show your core remains untouched by this. Even through grief and shaking, these cards want you to remember your worth never depended on them. The truth arrives exactly when your spirit grows strong enough to hold it, and you are ready. Your strength was never borrowed from this person. It was always yours, and it will carry you through. I feel the energy turning inward now, pulling me toward something tender and bruised inside your chest. A part of you already senses something uncomfortable approaching, even without any confirmation or solid proof yet. Your body carries tension in places you cannot name, and your mind refuses to rest at night. The air around you shifted recently, and you noticed it even without being able to explain it clearly. Something inside your awareness changed without permission, and you carried that unsettled feeling with you everywhere since. The shift was subtle at first, but now it pulses louder every day, demanding your full attention. You catch yourself pausing in ordinary moments, staring at nothing while thoughts spiral toward unanswered questions constantly. The first card here is the Nine of Swords, and it mirrors that anxious spiral inside you perfectly. The Nine of Swords says your thoughts attacked you in the quiet hours before dawn broke each morning. You replay conversations inside your head, searching for clues, looking for proof that something was deeply off between. This card confirms the worry is not imagined. Your intuition caught something real hiding beneath the calm surface. Your nervous system registered the danger long before your conscious mind had language to describe it. Sleep refuses to come when your mind grips tight on questions that never received complete, honest answers before. The Nine of Swords mirrors that exhaustion perfectly, confirming the mental weight has been absolutely crushing you lately. Your pillow knows a version of you that nobody else witnesses, the one who questions everything in silence. The next card we have is the Hermit, and intentional emotional withdrawal defines your recent private inner world. You pulled away from certain connections recently, choosing silence over confrontation as a shield for your inner peace. The Hermit says you needed that distance badly because your inner voice whispered things the noise kept drowning. Solitude became your armor this entire season, and the cards confirm that protective instinct served you exactly right. You did not isolate from weakness or fear. You stepped back because clarity demanded a quieter room entirely. The Hermit walked with you through every silent night, confirming that your withdrawal was the wisest possible move. The Hermit honors that decision fully, confirming the answers you found alone were more honest than anything offered. Then we have the Four of Cups, revealing a deep emotional numbness sitting inside your chest right now. The Four of Cups says you received explanations before, yet none of them ever felt genuine or complete. You turned away from comfort because something inside recognized that the comfort itself was hollow and completely staged. That refusal to accept less than truth is exactly what magnetized this entire moment into your life today. The Four of Cups confirms you are not being cold. You are simply finished accepting a filtered story. Your standards rose quietly while nobody was watching, and now nothing beneath raw truth satisfies your spirit anymore. The Four of Cups says your spirit outgrew the lies before your heart could fully accept that truth. Every half answer offered before only pushed you further into the clarity you needed to stand firm here. The last card here is the Queen of Swords, standing as the sharpest mirror of your current energy. This card says you are finished swallowing half-truths, finished accepting words that taste like decorated lies inside. Your clarity is stronger and more refined than it has ever been, and that sharpness intimidates the situation. Even when the call catches you off guard, the Queen confirms you already carry the answer deep within. You are not walking into this blind or unprepared. Your eyes opened longer ago than anyone around. The strength living inside your spirit at this moment, that is exactly what every card keeps confirming here. You were built for moments requiring both courage and discernment, and this reading says you carry both fully. The Queen of Swords does not stand beside fragile souls, and her presence confirms your inner power. Your awareness protects you when this call arrives, and the Queen of Swords says you are already armed. A shift just moved through these cards, and I can feel this person's presence entering the reading now. Their energy arrived heavy and layered, wrapped in conflict that feels like a storm inside a sealed room. The walls around this person are thick, built carefully over time, reinforced by wounds they never processed. Nobody taught them how to sit with discomfort, and that absence shaped every single choice they made. What drives this call from a private number is not malice. It is emotional compression reaching its limit. They cannot breathe under the weight of unspoken words, and the pressure finally cracked something wide open. Their hands probably shook before dialing, and their stomach probably turned just thinking about this conversation. Fear and desperation are dancing together inside them, and neither one is willing to let the other lead. The Knight of Cups rides in first, and his energy tells me this person chases emotional resolution desperately. This is not a cold, calculated move. It is a desperate attempt to reach across emotional distance. The Knight of Cups carries a cup overflowing with feeling, And this person matches that exact image perfectly. Their emotions spill in every direction lately, and they cannot control the flood inside them anymore. Love mixed with frustration, mixed with longing, all of it colliding inside them at the very same moment. The knight charges forward without a clear plan, and this person mirrors that reckless emotional bravery exactly. They picked up the phone before thinking it through because raw instinct overtook logic in one breath. The conversation they want to have, it has been rehearsed 1,000 times inside their mind after midnight. Every version sounds different in their head, and none of them capture what they actually need to express. The frustration of never finding the right words, it has been eating away at their confidence for weeks. They fear being misunderstood more than anything because their intentions genuinely come from a very deep place. This person rehearsed anger first, then softened into vulnerability, then circled back to anger once again. The emotional pendulum inside them swings violently, and they cannot find a stable center to rest upon. The Seven of Cups follows immediately, and it reveals the fantasy world this person has been living inside. Multiple versions of this situation exist in their imagination, and not a single one matches reality yet. They dreamed of a perfect reconciliation, an effortless reconnection, a conversation where everything magically resolved itself. The Seven of Cups confirms they have been choosing illusion over action for far too long already. Every daydream gave temporary comfort, and every comfort delayed the moment when truth needed to be spoken. This person constructed entire scenarios in their head, perfect conversations where every word landed with precision. Reality never cooperates with fantasy, though, and the gap between those worlds created immense inner suffering. They wanted the movie version of this, and the cards exposed how far from reality that vision sits. The devil arrives last for their side, and this card strips away every comfortable mask they have worn. An attachment lives inside this person that they cannot release, and it chains them to a painful cycle. The devil shows obsessive thought patterns, repeated behaviors, and an inability to walk away from deep attachment. They tried to move forward before, genuinely and fully tried, and something invisible kept pulling them back. That invisible force is a bond they never chose consciously, one that formed at a soul level entirely. The devil does not always mean darkness. Sometimes it reveals depth of connection that became all-consuming. This person is consumed by emotions they cannot organize, and the private number is their final, desperate attempt. They know hiding their identity on the call feels wrong, but vulnerability without armor terrifies them completely. The cards see through every defense this person built, and underneath all of it lives raw, unfiltered longing. Their motives are messy, but deeply authentic, and the next section reveals exactly what actions follow this chaos. The pace of this reading just changed completely, and I can feel acceleration building through every card. We are past the emotions now, past the inner turmoil, and stepping into territory where action takes over. Decisions are being made in real time, and the movement, I sense, happens faster than anyone anticipated before. This person is no longer sitting with feelings. They are actively doing something about every single one now. The rehearsal phase ended abruptly. The daydreaming collapsed entirely, and what remains is pure readiness for contact. Fingers hovering over a phone screen right now, heart pounding in their throat, choosing courage over silence. The stillness that defined the last few weeks is vanishing, and momentum is replacing it with undeniable force. I can feel urgency pulsing through these cards, and it tells me this window for action is narrow. The Ace of Swords cuts through first, and its energy is sharp enough to slice through every distraction. This card represents a breakthrough moment, a single point of mental clarity emerging from weeks of thick fog. The Ace of Swords confirms this person finally sees the situation without any romantic filter blurring their reality. They stripped away excuses deliberately, removed the fantasy completely, and arrived at one undeniable and urgent conclusion. The conversation must happen now, and it must happen before the courage evaporates into another missed opportunity. This card carries the energy of a blade cutting through a knot, clean and decisive without any hesitation. The mental clarity they found is fragile, though, and they know if they wait, it will dissolve rapidly. That urgency pushes them toward the private number, because anonymity provides a thin layer of needed protection. They figured hiding the number gives them one small advantage: control over the initial moment of contact, finally. If the call goes poorly, they can retreat into the shadows without fully exposing their vulnerable position openly. The Ace of Swords shows me calculated precision beneath emotional chaos, strategy wrapped tightly inside raw feeling. Every word they plan to speak has been carved to its sharpest possible version, nothing wasted at all. This is not a rambling call. This is a surgical conversation designed to cut straight to the truth. They know exactly what they want to say, and the ace confirms they found the right language finally. Precision lives inside this card, and it tells me the opening words of that call are already locked. They will not stumble into the conversation blindly, because every syllable has been weighed and measured carefully. The Two of Wands appears next, and it brings energy of a figure standing at a critical crossroads. This person holds two paths in their hands, and calling represents the act of choosing one path definitively. The Two of Wands shows a figure looking out over vast terrain, weighing risks against potential rewards carefully. They calculated the cost of staying silent, and they calculated the cost of speaking up with full honesty. Silence lost that calculation, because the price of keeping everything inside finally exceeded the price of exposure. The Two of Wands confirms movement is not theoretical anymore. It is happening within a very narrow window. This person already took the first step mentally, and the physical action follows within days or maybe hours. The globe in this card symbolizes awareness, and this person is acutely aware of what this conversation risks. They risk rejection and misunderstanding and explosive conflict, and the permanent closing of a door they need. Despite every risk calculated and every fear confronted, the Two of Wands says they choose movement regardless. Courage does not eliminate fear at all. It just refuses to obey it. And this card embodies that. The action phase is locked in firmly. The call is imminent, and what comes next will shake everything. Nothing I share from here forward is surface level, and I need your complete attention for what follows. The hidden layer beneath all of this action, it carries weight that the earlier cards only hinted at. The cards just flipped into a dimension, one that was hiding beneath the surface this entire reading. I felt it the moment this layer revealed itself, a tremor running underneath everything we explored already. This is where masks dissolve completely, where rehearsed speeches crumble, and where raw confession takes over. What this person wants to say during that call, it is not what you would expect at all. The anger is a costume, and the frustration is a costume. And underneath those costumes lives pure fragility. They dressed vulnerability in sharp tones because softness felt too dangerous to bring to this conversation tonight. Every harsh word they rehearsed was armor, not weaponry, and the cards stripped that distinction wide open. Their throat tightens every time they imagine being honest, because honesty requires surrender they never practiced before. The Nine of Cups opens this hidden chamber, and I need you to feel this revelation deeply. This card is traditionally called the Wish card, and its presence confirms a secret desire running incredibly deep. This person wishes for you, and that wish has been carved into every quiet moment they spend alone. Nine of Cups shows fulfillment imagined but never tasted, a banquet set for a guest who never arrived. They pictured a life where this tension dissolved, where words flowed easily and walls came down naturally. That picture haunts them nightly, and the distance between wanting it and having it became unbearable slowly. Their hidden confession is not anger. It is a longing so fierce it disguised itself entirely as rage. They want resolution wrapped in tenderness, but they cannot trust their own ability to ask for softness. The Nine of Cups confirms that behind every sharp word planned, a much quieter plea is hiding there. Please hear me. Please understand me. Please do not shut the door before I finish speaking my truth. That is the real message beneath everything, and the cards refuse to let it stay buried any longer. Your body might respond to this with chills, tears, or a sudden tightness settling deep in your chest. Those physical responses are confirmation, and the cards honor every sensation moving through your body right now. Let those feelings wash over you without resistance, because your spirit recognizes truth before your mind catches up. The Empress arrives next, and her presence in this confessional section carries extraordinary amounts of tenderness. She represents nurturing love, creative abundance, and a desire to build something lasting and deeply rooted together. This person secretly craves domesticity with you, quiet mornings shared over coffee and wrapped in warm comfort. The Empress reveals they imagined growing alongside you, planting roots, watching something beautiful bloom from patience together. That confession lives in a chamber of their heart, one they never showed anyone or spoke out loud. They would never say these words first, and the Empress confirms their vulnerability on this topic is enormous. The desire to nurture and be nurtured sits at the center of everything, even when carefully masked. Creation energy surrounds this person when they think of you, and the cards capture that warmth beautifully. They imagine holidays together, ordinary evenings together, and a life where belonging replaces the loneliness they carry. The Four of Wands seals this section, and it arrives carrying the energy of celebration and sacred union. This card represents homecoming, and the confession it holds is that you are their definition of true home. They searched for that feeling everywhere else, and nothing ever compared to what existed between you both. The Four of Wands says their deepest unspoken desire is not just a conversation, it is full reunion. They want to come back and rebuild everything, and they want the private call to be the beginning. That desire terrifies them more than rejection, because wanting something this deeply means the loss would devastate. The confessions buried in these three cards, they carry the weight of an entire history between connected people. Everything revealed here feeds directly into the final section, where the cards show exactly how this resolves. We have arrived at the final stretch of this reading, and the full weight is pressing down now. Every card before this moment, it was building toward the picture I am about to paint right now. The near future is not vague or uncertain. The cards delivered it with striking precision and absolute clarity. Justice stands at the front of your path, and this card demands that balance be restored without exception. The conversation through that private number, it triggers a reckoning that has been long overdue for both. Justice confirms whatever was imbalanced between you and this person, the universe is now correcting it forcefully. Truth will surface during that call, and it will not bend to accommodate comfort or anyone's preference. Justice does not pick sides at all. It demands that honesty finally sits at the center of connection. The outcome of that conversation, it depends on how willing both of you are to release old defenses. If honesty leads the way, justice promises a resolution that feels fair and earned by both people equally. The Six of Wands follows, and this card brings a victory I did not expect to find here. After the heaviness of that call, recognition and validation arrive in ways you never imagined were possible. The Six of Wands tells me you emerge from this conversation carrying a deeper understanding of your strength. You handled something most people would avoid forever, and that courage earns respect from the universe itself. This card signals the outcome lands in your favor, even if the entire process felt painful throughout. Triumph does not always look glamorous. Sometimes it looks like choosing raw truth over comfortable, familiar silence. The Ten of Cups closes your near future, and this is the most emotionally powerful card appearing today. Emotional fulfillment, deep connection, and lasting harmony all live inside this card's sacred and beautiful imagery. The Ten of Cups confirms that beyond the difficulty of this conversation, genuine happiness waits patiently ahead. The rainbow arching over this card represents a promise, and that promise is peace after a necessary storm. My advice is this: do not run from the private number when it appears on your phone screen. Answer with an open heart. Listen fully before you react, and let the silence between words carry meaning. You do not need to win this conversation. You only need to survive it with integrity fully intact. Let this person speak their piece, because interrupting their confession only delays the healing you both need. Protect your energy fiercely, but do not close your heart, because this call is a doorway moving forward. Let me bring back the message that started everything, because it deserves to be heard one final time. This person will call you from a private number, and you are not going to enjoy this conversation. Every single card tonight confirmed that message, and I want to walk you through every one of them. King of Cups showed emotional masking, and the Three of Swords confirmed painful honesty heading your direction. The High Priestess honored your intuition, and the Eight of Wands confirmed the speed of approaching contact. Ten of Wands revealed your exhaustion, and the Hanged Man captured your suspension between two impossible choices. Five of Pentacles exposed your loneliness, and the Knight of Cups showed this person charging toward resolution. Seven of Cups uncovered their fantasy world, and the Devil revealed attachment they cannot escape from at all. Ace of Swords gave them clarity for action, and the Two of Wands confirmed they chose forward movement. Nine of Cups held their secret wish, and the Empress revealed their craving for nurturing love with you. Four of Wands declared you are their home, and Justice demanded balance be restored between you both now. Six of Wands promised victory through courage, and the Ten of Cups sealed it with lasting emotional peace. This reading was never about fear. It was always about preparing your heart for a transformative moment ahead. You are not walking into darkness. You are walking through a doorway that opens into something genuinely beautiful. The near future is not vague or uncertain. The cards delivered it with striking precision and absolute clarity. Justice stands at the front of your path, and this card demands that balance be restored without exception. The conversation through that private number, it triggers a reckoning that has been long overdue for both.